Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Good Boxing Podcast with your host, Josh Size. And I don't even have the words to describe what happened last night. I am still elated from all the action that took place. And quite frankly, rarely do we ever get an event that lives up to the hype. 79.99 was well worth it. Paid for the pay-per-view and wanted to watch it where there would be no hiccups. And truthfully, I am so grateful for the fact that I was able to do so. We had an amazing, amazing, amazing card. I'm going to go from top to bottom. But first things first, Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury. The third fight was just an amazing spectacle. I'm going to sit here and start by saying bravo to Deontay Wilder and bravo to Tyson Fury for showing just a unique human response in the ring. There are not many people that could have gone out there and done what those two giant individuals did. I also want to thank Deontay Wilder for coming extremely prepared. And I'm going to be honest with you, last night, Deontay Wilder would have beaten any heavyweight not named Tyson Fury. Unfortunately, he was up against the Gypsy King because that was a bad man yesterday, Deontay Wilder, that entered the ring. Immediately when the fight started, you saw that Deontay Wilder had come to change the narrative. You immediately saw a more educated approach. You saw body jabs. You saw right hands to the body that were literally, the minute they connected, left marks on Fury's body. He was throwing them with such bad intention that I really was nervous in the first round. I know Fury was getting his rhythm. I know he was trying to do what he normally does, but you can see that Deontay Wilder was visibly affecting Tyson Fury. Those body shots, that body stick, that body right, you saw it affecting Tyson Fury. And in round one, I don't know if it was maybe the layoff played a part, and I don't think he expected Deontay Wilder to hit his body since Deontay Wilder is primarily a headhunter. But Deontay Wilder looked amazing in that first round, and I mean, he tired himself out. You saw there was a lot of nervous energy, and you saw that he came to win the fight. Renewed vigor. He wasn't going to accept the fact that that second fight that Tyson Fury legitimately beat him, and he fought his ass off in order to kind of prove that in round one. In round two, you saw. I just rewatched the fight again, and in round two, you saw Deontay Wilder doing a lot of the same. Yes, I know Tyson Fury landed a big right hand in the first round, but you saw Deontay Wilder making a concerted effort to really attack the body. And here's why. Fury likes using that lead hand to kind of post and use the jab to reach out. And then when he pulls back, you leave the arm out, you negate the right hand. But when you start throwing that right to the body, you keep picking that right hand up. The right hand may come. You don't pick your hand up, and now it's hitting you over the top. So pretty much up, down, change levels, go to the body, then the head will open up. Attack the left hand. Tyson Fury was also clearly trying to use the left hook. So that does leave you open for the right hand, especially when you're going towards his right hand. Tyson Fury is moving left, and he was going towards the power hand of Deontay Wilder. So in those first few rounds, Deontay Wilder was landing really, really good right hands, and Tyson Fury would eat him. And I gotta say, I can't believe he was eating some of the shots Deontay Wilder was hitting him with. He, yeah, Tyson Fury is just built to something magical. Honestly, maybe Gypsy magic is true because that guy is just something else. But then Wilder seemed to tire out, and in round three, you saw what happened. Fury caught Wilder with a shot, knocked him down, and it seemed like a flash knockdown. Wilder was a little hurt, but not like devastatingly hurt, but he got back up. Then it looked like Fury was going to continue to just steamroll and ragdoll Deontay Wilder. However, in the most Deontay Wilder go out on your shield, basically proving what he felt was a inaccurate decision by Mark Breland because he's dangerous at all times. Hurts Tyson Fury in that same round, he just got dropped. At the end of the round, Tyson Fury got rocked, and it looked like he was going to go down. I thought, wow, he just got reckless. He was going to finish him. I'm like, Tyson Fury is going to finish this dude next round. And then it happened. Tyson Fury was attacking with that left hook, going forward, going forward, going forward, looking for the right hand. And Deontay Wilder has one, well, he has a lot of technical flaws, but one flaw in particular is in order for him to throw the right hand, he can never throw it from up top. He can never have his hands up and throw a straight punch. So every time you throw it, excuse me, you go back and loop it, right? He's looping, looping, looping. So Fury doing the smart thing, the traditional thing, picks his hands up like this. But since he was going left, maybe it was the timing, maybe Deontay's improved footwork with Malik Scott helped him move to the left a little bit to line up that shot, or move to the right a little bit rather. And that's exactly what happened. He moved over. Tyson Fury went like this. It leaves you wide open for that straight right hand, right down the pipe. And that right hand is magical. You see it, and it's just incredible how much power he generates, especially when it's just short. It was a short right hand, right down the pipe, and it sent Fury down. I mean, he was hurt. You saw him visibly bothered. Then got back up. I'm like, all right, Fury, box, box, box. But he doesn't. I mean, and that's a testament to Tyson Fury. And the gallstones on both of these men was incredible. Deontay Wilder getting up and then coming back and hurting him one time is a magnificent feat. Then the unthinkable happens. There's an exchange. Tyson Fury is kind of rolling with the shots. Deontay cuffs him. So now Tyson Fury is covering the middle. And what do? Loop over the top, hit him in the back of the ear. Tyson Fury goes down. Now, tactically, it makes perfect sense. You throw something straight, you attack that hand and the front hand of Tyson Fury, and now the hand's moving. Now he's playing with dynamite. You choose to try to knock Deontay Wilder out. You have to understand you're going to get touched. You're gonna have to walk through hell, and that's the problem. No one ever walked through hell until yesterday and Tuesday. I can't believe it, but then Tyson Fury kept coming. The following round, they got into it. Tyson Fury kept going forward, and put the pressure on him. He went to go wear him down. He went to go lean on him. He went to go do a bunch of different things to him to make him tired, him to the body, put him in a headlock, turn him. And this fight just was magnificent. I mean, Tyson Fury won the next round. I felt like he won the next round too, but then he would just get hurt with these shots that it looked like Deontay Wilder had like a stone in his hand and he was just clubbing Fury with. Yeah, maybe it was the horsehair that everyone was talking about in Tyson Fury's glove or in his gloves, but I just can't believe it. And it seemed like Fury was gonna kind of gain momentum, but then Wilder would occasionally just land something. And this just came down to technical flaws coming out when you're tired and fatigued. People don't realize Malik Scott was telling him the right things. He was saying to him the right instructions. Keep your hand up. You're getting hit with the hook every time you jab, you're doing this. But this is what people don't realize, and it's the hardest part about training someone. When you are at your bare limited reserves in your gas tank or your energy tank, and you're on the cusp of just extreme fatigue, your body's going to revert to what it knows and what it's always done. It's always going to revert back to comfortability, because when you're comfortable, you expend the least amount of energy. And that's what happened with Deontay Wilder. He trained to keep his hand here, but when he got tired, he can't throw punches from up here. So his hand always comes down to throw the overhand right. And when that is your money shot, you're going to lean on what you got when all is going to the floor. And what he had was great. I mean, Deontay Wilder literally became a champion with just a right hand. So the fact that he leaned on that right hand in order to win this fight was a no-brainer, in my opinion, and he had success. Again, Deontay Wilder beats any heavyweight not named Tyson Fury on this night. I'm not going to go back in time and say to the old greats, but I'm talking about right now. Deontay Wilder beats any heavyweight in the world. Easily the best heavyweight if there's not a man named Tyson Fury. And Then Fury continued to dominate, continued to dominate. Then he drops Wilder. I'm like, okay, this is it. There's no way this man can muster any more resistance. This is where it's going to happen. He drops him. I'm like, okay, Wilder's done. He gets up and then hurts Tyson Fury with the last 10 seconds left in the 10th round. And I'm losing my shit at this point because it's absolutely incredible that one, Tyson Fury is taking the shots that Deontay Wilder's hitting him with, because Wilder is swinging with everything he has in that new 238-pound frame where he looks like a beast. He literally looks like a monster, right? And Tyson Fury is standing up to him and refusing to go backwards because, as Sugar Hill Stewart said, he could have boxed. He could have threw the jab. I mean, he was throwing the check hook to keep Deontay Wilder's hand here, right? When the hand goes up, you shoot the jab right up the middle, right? Simple play, make the hand move. You pick the right choice from time to time, make it a hard decision for the person defending. But no, Tyson Fury decided to go forward, and both of these gentlemen seemed to have something that they needed to settle. Deontay Wilder wasn't going to go down boxing. He wasn't going to go down using that educated jab, all those little drills that he was doing to win. He incorporated it, and it's why he landed some of those shots that he did. But at the end of the day, when you're a gunslinger, you're going to go down shooting. And that's exactly what Deontay Wilder did. He even hurt Tyson Fury before the final round. And in the 11th round, Deontay Wilder was spent. He had nothing left. And Tyson Fury did what Tyson Fury does. He closes the show when the pressure is the highest. He seems to just always rise. And that's what he did. He knocked down Wilder. And at this point, there was no more to talk about. He got dropped. He just fell like a ton of bricks. And truthfully, it was over. Even Deontay Wilder was like, all right, I got knocked out. And that concludes the classic. Honestly, this is a modern day classic. I'm not going to sit here and say it's the greatest heavyweight fight of all time. There are a lot of good fights in the heavyweight division. But ultimately, for right now, this is probably one of the most exciting fights in terms of back and forth heavyweight action in a very long time, considering the fact with what's been going on. And also, we haven't had a night like this in a very long time where the best fight the best in the heavyweight division. Recently, we had Usyk versus Joshua, but that was a little more of a calculated chess match, which, don't get me wrong, I enjoy. But when you see a fight like this at a high level, Deontay Wilder's a high-level power punching heavyweight who looks a little awkward at times, but he's pretty good. I mean, again, he beats any heavyweight in the world. Usyk, come on, he'll knock Usyk out if he touches him. Joshua, he would knock Joshua out badly, in my opinion. Dillian White, I'm sorry, you don't want that. Andy Ruiz would eat a right hand, and none of these men can take the shots that Deontay Wilder's given out there. And I mean, look at Luis Ortiz. He was doing great, and then what happened? 1 second, boop, over. First fight, he hurts Wilder. Wilder gets up and boop, knocks him out. So there comes a point where we have to stop breaking down Deontay Wilder because, yeah, I know he had the excuses, yes, but this version of Deontay Wilder was exponentially better than the version in the second fight. But again, Tyson Fury is one of these generational talents, one of these once in a decade, once in 20 years, once in however long you want kind of talent. Somebody that's 6'9", can box, can bang, and truthfully will die out there. Honestly, I know a lot of people don't say that, but he is built for this. This is what he was bred to do. This is what essentially he is. He's a warrior, and he went down the way a warrior would go. It's either me or you, and both gentlemen did that. But unfortunately for Deontay Wilder, he fought Tyson Fury. And that's kind of what I want to end the episode on. I'm going to keep this one a little shorter. I know I was talking about the other fights, but I'm just going to touch on this one, and then I'll make another video about those other ones. But yeah, what a great fight. Truthfully, what a great night. All the heavyweight fights were good. The card below was good. But this particular main event finally met the hype. Two guys that just literally wanted it so bad. Deontay Wilder, you can tell the second fight was bothering him the entire time. You could tell he hated losing to Fury. You can tell that he hated how having to capitulate to Fury that he lost that second fight. He came up with all those excuses and he used it as motivation. Say what you want, but ego and being clowned and embarrassed and all of the downfalls and roller coaster feelings that he felt that night created a monster. Deontay Wilder on this night was a monster. However, he's just constantly fighting someone that is the monster slayer. I mean, no one's beating Tyson Fury. Winner Anthony Joshua Usyk. Come on, we're looking at one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, and we just got to start appreciating it. Deontay Wilder brought out the best in Tyson Fury, and you saw the fighting spirit, and you saw what Tyson Fury, Billy Joe Saunders, and all these guys talk about the gypsy spirit and the fighting people. This man is bred to fight, and he is a fighting genius. And just, I don't even know anymore what to describe Tyson Fury as. Well, that's the episode for today. Follow on Instagram at Good Boxing Podcast. If you like this video or you feel like I'm wrong about something, feel free to opine. Let me know what you guys thought. I was hoping the fight went to a decision. I thought it was going to a decision, but I'll take the knockout. Case closed. We don't need a fourth one. It's over. And let's just appreciate what we had. Be well.